Podcast BRIN, podcast riset dan inovasi, eksplorasi sains tanpa batas.
Welcome to the podcast of the National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, and today we are still discussing digital research and digital infrastructure for research ecosystem in Indonesia. Currently, we have Professor Dr. Ahmad Najib Burhani. He has been appointed as head of Institute of Social Sciences and Humanities in BRIN. Professor Najib is one of the young professor in BRIN, and he has a plenty of experience in international collaboration, research fellows, and of course, publication. Today, Professor Najib will share his experience of digital research and his plan to bring digital research in Social Science and Humanities Institute. Thank you, Mas Najib. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Mas Bobby.
Yeah, we are pleased to welcome you in our podcast. And we would like to ask you a little bit about the digital research and how do you find digital research for social sciences and humanities?
Yes, thank you, Mas Bobby, for a very good question on digital. What did you say?
Digital research?
Yes. Well, if we are talking about our Institute of Social Sciences and Humanities, we are planning that digital societies and digital cultures and also digital research, one of our flagship for the coming years. So, as I said several times in our meeting, that digital tool and digital communities and also using digital as part of our research is a kind of necessity for us now. It is no longer as an option. This is not only a tool for conducting research, but also this is part of our daily life. This is not only how we communicate with other people, but this includes, for instance, the way we are performing rituals and we are communicating with other people, and also perhaps in the way like we are dealing with everything in our society.
Okay. And as we know that digital technology development has been disrupted in many sectors. I mean, not like you said, like only communication, but also like a transaction, the relation between one person to another person. And do you see that digital research will be a new paradigm on social research and humanities?
Perhaps yes, that it will be a new paradigm. But actually, if we are looking at what is happening right now, or what has been developing in our communities, we see that there are several, several publications related to this issue: digital religion, and then digital Hinduism, and then digital education. And then also we can see, for instance, digital life, digital afterlife, even like that one. So this one, if we can see from the perspective of the approach in the way of seeing life, perhaps this become what you said as a paradigm. But our future life would be perhaps could not be separated between digital and non-digital, just like right now between cyber and non-cyber could not be differentiated. Sometimes it is like intersect with each other. And also, the future of humanity itself, if you see like the movie Cyborg, which was in 1990s, 20s, it was like a dream of the future humanity. But now, I think it's part of our life, part of the development of human being, part of the ethnicity in humanity, that cybernetic organism is part of the culture of human being, part of the ethnic of the human being. So it's no longer a paradigm, perhaps in the future, but becoming an integral part of the humanity itself.
Yeah, and when I try to refer about the statistic of like, because digital is close to the relation of internet utilization, and Indonesia is one of the, I think it's number 5 in the world of the growing of internet user. And like you said, that it's embodied in individual or personal life. I mean, like we cannot resist that we currently like dependent to digital technology. Yeah, because like in Indonesia, like approximately like 8 hours of people spending their time through the internet to communicate, like to study, to shopping, to work, to everything. And also Indonesian internet user annually grow like approximately like 25% every year. That's statistic in 2021. And do you see that this is a new potential for a research topic or research theme in Indonesia, even though like the growing of digital research in Indonesia is mostly happened because of the COVID-19 pandemic, instead of people would like to transform from conventional research to the digital research?
Well, if I see the current situation in Indonesia, we are still in the stage of drowning into that kind of digital life.
Okay.
You know, like the case of Microsoft several months ago, when we were responding to the like a digital, what you call it, like a civility index. You see that we are like attacking Microsoft, and then also if we see in the context of this digital time that we are more becoming a consumer of the Facebook, Instagram, and also Twitter, and also some other digital platform. We are using them, but we are also becoming a market for like international international companies. And also, as you see, we are still like trying to understand, to live with that one, but not mastering that kind of platform. So perhaps we can learn from that situation. And then if you are talking about studying Indonesian case in the context of that one, yes, perhaps we are just in the honeymoon, perhaps with this kind of digital platform. We need also to understand that perhaps if we go to the cities in Indonesia, they are like mingling with this kind of technology, but also some part of Indonesian people living in the forest, living in the jungle,
or rural area.
Yes, or rural area. They are not, perhaps not touching at all to this digital technology. So there is a potential of using this one, but also we need not to neglect other part of our population, citizen in Indonesia that's still far left behind in the context of digitalization.
Do you mean there is a gap between that big, people that's more digitalized? I mean, digital have a higher digital literacy, since digital technology is more inclusive. I mean, like people live in urban is more digitalized, or people with a social economy background. I mean, like higher social economic background is more digitalized. In the meantime, like you said, people in a remote area that's a lack of internet access, it will be like left behind, or not really have a digital literacy.
We can say that there are diversity in terms of using this kind of digital technology. One of the example of that one in the context of the popular culture, we can see two examples. The first one is that one, young boy reached the rapper.
Gender
that reached rapper that creating music and then become very famous and then broadcasted in the US and become very famous. And then the second one, someone from I think Kalimantan involved or mingle with this kind of technology, but what he met at that time was the ISIS, and then he went to Syria and then killed over there. So this one, it could be a trap and it could be opportunity. That the one perhaps classification if we see this digital technology. And then the second one, as I said, there is a difference between a remote area, like in the village and in the jungle, and the one in the city. And of course, if we classify between old and young, so there are diversity in terms of accepting, using, and then maintaining, and also perhaps taking advantage of this kind of technology. So beside of the opportunity, we need to be also aware of that kind of potential trap of this kind of technology.
So digital technology not only bring advantages but also a risk behind of the digital development. Like Mas Najib said that it's bring a side effect from the digital technology, and this can be a new potential of a social issue or in a research. And when we talk about comparing between, even though like you said, it cannot be spirit between digital and non-digital or conventional, but do you see the strength of a digital research compared to a conventional approach?
Of course, there are some advantages that we can take from this kind of, let's say, new technology, the digital one, making us, for instance, very easy to meet other people. And then like one of your expertise is like easier for us using a big data to understand our society. And then also, for instance, to get some understandings of a certain issue, and then easy for us to classify the social phenomenon. So of course, this technology provide us with some easiness, perhaps, or from some facilities to strengthen our research and also to make a better understanding of the phenomena in our society. But of course, what you are doing right now, we need to know this analytical tool. Not only like the fact of our society that they are becoming part of the digital community, digital society, but how to understand that one using this digital tool. I think that one is a necessity for us in order to understand better our community, our society, and in order to dig and to analyze better than before.
And since you have a lot of international experience, could you share with us how digital research has been implemented in the other countries?
I'm not really having that kind of strong experience of how several countries employing, using, adopting this kind of technology, but some of the countries a bit conservative in adopting this kind of that one. But if you go, for instance, to CCS at Kyoto University, all the all the catalog, all the books, and also all the publication now have been easier for many people who are working there to access, to work, because all of them have been quote unquote digitized in all term. I mean, become available, and also reading them using tablet and something like that. And also if you go to Leiden University, KITLV, they have been digitized all the data that they have, including the document and data books on Indonesia. So that's among the the use of digital and the adoption of digital in some other countries. And if you go to Waseda University, for instance, they are already using that kind of technology to study, for instance, national heritage, like in Yogyakarta, Borobudur, and making them become available, for instance, in 3D, 4D, and something like that. And also if we go to Germany, for instance, they provide everything in society like a mirror in terms of digital. So if you are studying a certain country, certain society, now you can just open the internet and then you can dig a lot of information from there without necessarily going to that country.
Come to there. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So like digital technology is not only like researching in digital life, but also how to bring the research into a digital publication or like virtual tour like that. But once more, Mas Najib, a social media laboratory is one of the powerhouses of digital research. How do you see this? I mean, like how digital data laboratory can support social science and humanities research?
Yes, that one is one of, I think, my dream that we can now, because the dynamic of our society is very fast, and then the changing of our society right now is very fast, and then the only way to understand that one is, for instance, one of, or not the only, perhaps, one of the ways to understand that one is by understanding their views, their attitude, their thinking through what they express in the digital platforms, and also the movement of the people, and then their activities. Also, we can see from their social, social media and something like that. So, if we have that kind of laboratorium, we can perhaps easily to help us to understand easier the movement of the people, the way they think, and then classify them, and then analyze them in a better way.
Okay. Do you mean like through the social media laboratory, we not have to live with the object of research, like the contemporary approach, like ethnography. So we can do the digital ethnography through the social media laboratory. You mean like that?
Yes, and of course to understand what you call it, like the sophistication of life that usually. Previously, for instance, we can classify between village and city, between a remote area, a coastal area, and like mountain area and something like that. But right now, the connection is more complicated, and the way to understand that one is not by going there, but through social media, right?
It's like a telescope to see the person or to see the object of the research. We not have to like. I mean, like we can magnifying what they are doing, what what are their interests. Like, do you mean like that?
Yes,
All
yes,
right. Yeah. It's so, and this is the last. To conclude, do you have any particular message or I mean to as a conclusion from our discussion?
Yes, I believe that a digital society, digital culture, and digital research is what you say that this is something that we need to master on that one, to use that one, to adopt that one, to live with that one as part of our life. It is difficult in terms of conducting research and understanding society without understanding the development of the technology that become part of the society. if we are still using the old mechanism, the old system to understand society, then we cannot really understand what is in the mind and what is in the activities of our subject, the human being. So the only way to understand the current situation, the contemporary of the development of human being, is understanding the way they live right now by like entering like the digital life.
Thank you so much for your explanation about digital research, and we can see the future of digital research in social sciences and humanities. Thank you so much, Pak Najib, for your insight and also explanation about digital research. As a discussion with Mas Najib, we can see that digital research can be manifested into 4 things. The first is as a digital tools, as a tools for digital research in social science and humanities. Second is a new paradigm, and the third as a phenomena of digital research in social science and humanities, and the last is a future of social science and humanities research. I think that's the end of our podcast in our episode of digital research and infrastructure for ecosystem research in Indonesia. I hope you enjoy our podcast and see you in the next episode. Eksplorasi sains tanpa batas. Salam BRIN.